Okay, let's see. Today I will use the editor called Notepad++. Yesterday I used the Notepad. Okay, initial first day you can use Notepad only for familiar, for become a familiar with your editor. Let's see. I am going to do it now. Let's say again I am writing HTML, but in the HTML5 you have to make sure first you have to add the doc type, that is a mandatory. In the beginning you have to use doc type. What is the meaning of doc type? What does doc type it will do? Okay, doc type indicate it's a what type of document file is there. This is they made mandatory in the HTML5. You can identify by saying this is the one of the factor, it is HTML5 parameter or HTML4. Let's say I will save this in the my file. I will save it as a HTML5 dot html. You can say I have saved it. Now remaining parameters I will write it. Commonly it is a head. Commonly it is the head tag. Next one, in between the head tag you will get. If you have any questions, you note down it and I will sort out at the end. Okay, I'm writing the title HTML5 structure. And I will close the head tag. In between you will get a same body tag also, here also same. Okay, in the basic structure, what was the difference? Only the doc type is the different. Now I am going to add here the semantic tags. How to add the semantic tags, how to do it, I will explain you that particular information also. Okay, let's see. Now I will come for the first parameter is header tag. In the HTML5 they have introduced first semantic tag, that is the header tag. Header means, what is the meaning of header? We have to use in the website in the top portion is called it as a header portion. For that purpose they have introduced this. Let's see. I will write a CSS for this. By default style tag I have to take here and I have to define it here. First I will write star, open flower bracket, closing flower bracket. Here I will add a margin 0 pixel. Yesterday I told you why I am writing the 0 px here, because by default you will get a 8 pixel margin in the all four corners. That is the reason. Now here I am going to come up with the next program, that is call it as a hash I will, sorry, not hash required, because I'm directly writing for header. For header I will take it directly here, header, and I will define it here the properties. How much height I want, how much width I want. Height 100 px, width 100 percentage, background blue. Let's say I will show you what is the 100 percentage, how it looks. Let's say I will come for the document. I will run the file. Okay, here is the file. Now see, 100% means it will take based on your screen, it will occupy the screen width. Height is 100 px here. If you make it small also, it will automatically consider as this is the 100 percentage, means responsive. Based on the screen, it will count as a 100 percentage here. Let's see. Now we have made it three property, height, width, and here I will write the text. Header of page. I will say header of website. By default, it will come up with the black color here. How we will change it? You have to use the color here, white, and text align center. I will make it. What text align center it will do? It will bring into the center your screen. You can see now one is changed to white color because I have specified the property color white. Second thing, I have specified text align center, because that is the reason width wise it is coming a center. If you want height wise to bring on the center, what need to be done and which property has to use, you can use the line height property. What line height property it will do, if you apply how much pixel, that much pixel it will come in the midpoint and it will be displayed. Let's say I will apply line height 100 px, it will come in the middle of the point because height of the division is 50 px, sorry 100 px. Let's say I will specify line height 50 px, sorry 100 px, then only it will becomes in the center. Okay, you can check out here, it is in the middle of the slide, but the content it is looking very small. By default I told you 16 px it will be display the text. You have to make it, now we increment. If you want to do, you have to write the property called font size. Font size you can add it 30 px, I will specify. By default it is 16, I told you. Now you see it is 30 px. Means we use header tag for defining the header portion of the website. Let's see, next I will come for footer. Sorry, not a footer, navigation. For navigation we will use the tag called nav. Nav stands for nav. nav stands for nav. I will specify here navigation. This is also a semantic tag introduced in the HTML5. Let's see, I will take now and I will specify here height 50 px, width 100%, background I will take it as a light blue. Let's see, now I have targeted via nav. Nav stands for navigation. You can see here the down it came navigation purpose. What is the navigation? Navigation means here the menu elements will come like home, about, contact us. Yesterday I told in the wireframe. Similarly, it comes here via, it's in terms of coding we have to do it here. Let's say I will bring that one in the center. It is text align center and line height 50 px. Now I will make it as a small. You can see now navigation is coming here. Similarly, for navigation we use for menu purpose, header we use for header portion of the website. We use section tag for making the blocks. Let's say I will specify the section. I will specify the section tag here. Okay, for the section tag where we will use for making a multiple blocks in the website, multiple sections in the website, we use the section tag. Let's see, for this section tag also I will define the CSS section, open and closing bracket. I will specify height 400 px, width 100%. I will take a background pink. Now you can see it takes a 400 px. Means we can make a multiple blocks inside again. This is the section tag. Inside two more tags we can use inside the section tag. If you want for the content purpose, you can use a article. If you want for a site blocks purpose, you can use a ASI tag. Okay, how to do that is also I am going to present it to you inside how to add that particular information. Inside the section tag, I will take both the tags. One article tag. Let's see, 1 second, I will take it fully bottom. and I will close the article tag. And one more a side tag I told, a side. Article tag we use for presenting the content inside. A side, if you want, you can make it as a side blocks in the website, or any subsections if you want to make in the websites. There you can use it. Now this 100% only I will divide into two portions for article and a side. One I will take 65 percentage, one I will take 30 percentage. Let's say I will show you how it works. First one I will tell you article. The article I will take a width 65 percentage. 65% of portion it will be text. Height I will keep same. Background I will change to the orange, and I will keep this as a float left. What is the meaning of float left? It will display in the left direction. Let's see, I will show you in the output. You can see 65% space occupied, and it is displayed with the and right more, that is the a side tag. A side I will use to make the side blocks. Let's see, a side. Okay, let's say I will specify here 30 percentage. But I want right side, that's why reason I will take float right property. Right means it will shift in the right side. See, out of 35%, so out of 100%, I use 65 for article, 30 for the a side. Totally 95 is used. What 5% it will do? It will give the gap between left and right side, between the both element. Let's see, I will show you how it looks. Okay, here is the option. It's 65, it is 30. Means inside any section, if you want to make a present the content, you can use these two tags also. Finally, portion will come footer. Footer we use for final, like copyright, any information you want, you can use it. Let's say I am coming for footer. I will take here footer tag. Footer tag. Here I will specify here @design by Apponix. Means just we can present their content. Let's see, for footer also I will write the CSS properties. You can see footer. Height I will use 50. That's enough for me. Width I will make it 100 percentage. I will take the background blue. Float don't want. You can see now it's coming here down. Now header, navigation, section tag and footer tag all came. Now this footer also I will make it as bring into the center, this particular, and I will make it as a center. How we will do it? For that you have to use line height 50 px, color white, you can see. If you want width by center, this one text align center you have to use. You can see. Now it is the text align center. This is a completely structure of HTML5, we can say. What was the difference between 4 and 5 now? 4 was completely dependent on the division tag. Division is a non-semantic tags. And these all are HTML5 elements. These are the semantic tags because these have a meaning. Division means we will use everywhere. That is the reason we will say it is a non-semantic tag division. These are the tags, we'll call it as a semantic tags. This is a major difference in the HTML4 and HTML5. Now I will come for the JavaScript. I will come for the JavaScript. What is the use of JavaScript and why we have to use the JavaScript? That is, let's see. I will create a one more new file. Save as. Since I am making copy, I will save it as a JavaScript.html. Okay, if you want to write anything on the web page, inside the HTML page, anything, if you want to add a JavaScript, you have to use the script tag. You have to use the script tag here also, the same thing. Let's see, before coming to script, just I will show you what is the JavaScript. JavaScript is a client-side programming language. Why we have to use the JavaScript? If you want to integrate any logic in the website, because HTML and CSS, there is no logic will come. Any dynamic things, if you want to add in the HTML page, we have to use the JavaScript, because that is the reason. And if you want to do the validation, there also we have to use the JavaScript. If you want to integrate any dynamic slideshow, you have to integrate the JavaScript. If you want to integrate the date picker, you have to use the JavaScript. For the multiple reasons it will come. Okay, let's see what we have to do. We have to use the script tag for adding a JavaScript code inside the HTML page. Okay, those tags are optional, like HTML, head, title. If you want, you can write it, else you can ignore it. But I am going directly here. First, I will show you how to write the output statement here. Okay, it is a commenting in the JavaScript output statement. I am showing the just a sample of output statement. We have to use document.write for the output purpose. Let's see. I will say I am JavaScript. And for this, no need any special software. You can directly run with your browser itself, like a Chrome browser also you can use it. Let's see. I am going to execute it. You can see I am a JavaScript. It's printed here output. Right now it is coming with normally output. Okay, the output, one more output type I will show you, that is called document.writeln. See, what is the difference between document dot and document.writeln? It will give a one space before printing the after printing any statement behind this, it will give one space. I will show you just an example. One more document.write, I will write it below this, and I will tell you what is the difference and how it looks. Let's see. I am going for output. You can see here, first statement as usual it is displayed I am a JavaScript. Second also you see there is no space, immediately it is appeared. But third one is not happened like that way. You got a one space here, you see. Because document.writeln, what happens? If anything is printing after this statement, it will by default, it will take a one space in between. That is the difference between document.write and document.writeln. And also we use one more, that is called console.log in the output. Let's say I will show you console.log. Console.log. Let's see. I will just specify I am visible in only console mode. Let's see. I will make a refresh. See, nowhere it is coming output. If you want to see that output, you have to right click, have to click on inspect, and you have to go for the console. See here, I am visible in only console mode. This is what I have written in the text. If you want to see this particular information, you have to use this particular method. I am visible in only console mode. Let's see, now you got the idea how to do the calculation here. I will tell you next pop-up statement in the JavaScript. There are the three pop-up statements comes here. One is a alert method, another is a confirm, another one is a prompt. Let's see this. I will take it as an outside. First one I will show you here. Okay, better I will write it is in the paragraph, because if I write here, it will not support. First one you can say I will take a one button. I will show you the alert. Okay, what alert it will do? Alert, it will show pop-up statement in the browser. Let's say I will add directly here. When user click on the button, I will write for on click. On click is a event handling function here. What it does, when user is click on that, whatever you define under this, it will be visible. Let's say I will take it as an alert. I will add it here. I am alert. Let's see. I will show you this output, how it looks. Click on alert. You see pop-up, it's coming along with the OK button. Okay, your statement, whatever you defined here, it's there, and it's okay means it will accept and it will be disappear. Similarly, we'll get a two more. One is a confirm and another one is a prompt. Confirm and another one is prompt. Both I am going to show you. Confirm and one more is a prompt. PROMPT. Let's say I am a confirm. I will say here. Here you have to change to the method confirm. And here you have to say the method prompt. Now see, when I click on confirm, you are getting the message along with one more extra button came, cancel here. Okay means it's like a accepted, cancel means it's a rejected. You can see. And in the prompt, what happens? It is pop-upping the same pop-up message along with okay and cancel and one more input box. Means anywhere if you want, you can use this input box as a again as a your input. Again as a your input purpose. Let's see. Now I will come up for next one. You got the idea how to do the things. Next, I will tell you the how to declare the variables in the JavaScript. Let's say I will take again, if you want a JavaScript, you can use the script. Let's see, here I will tell you before that, writing a JavaScript within a tag, it is called it as an inline JS. Inline JS means internal Java. Writing a JavaScript code within a script tag, that is called it as an internal JavaScript. Similarly, here also three types of JavaScript. One is inline, internal, and external. External, we will use a separate file and we will connect it. For connecting external JavaScript, we have to use the script code. Let's say how to do the variable declaration. I'm showing you just here sample. Let's say I have added in the comment. And I will add it here. We have to use var. For declaring variable, we have to use the variable keyword called var. It is a optional, it is not a mandatory. Let's say I will take variable a is equal to 10. Variable b is equal to 10. Two variables, and here no need to specify the data type also. Automatically it will recognize it, based on that it will calculate. Let's say I will take one more variable, total, equal to a plus of b. Now how we will show the output? If you want directly in the, then you can use document.write. Let's say I will specify TOT. Whenever if the variable is coming dynamically any input, then no need double quote. Whenever it is the static, then only you can add inside the bracket double quote, else it is a dynamic content. Let's say I will make it as a refresh. You see you got 20 as a output, because 10 plus 10 it is a 20. If you want any text you want to add before the 30, that 20 output, then you can add it here itself, string. You can say I will add it in the sum, but dynamic variable we have to add along with plus, and this is called it as a string concatenation, combining the string. You can say sum 20. Let's see, now I will make it as an a br. Br stands for break. If you want new line you have to use br. Either you can take here or you can add directly one more document dot right here, and you can specify inside br. Br, what it does, it will break the line. You can say now it is coming in the new line. Now you got little bit idea of how to do the JavaScript and how to do it. Let's say I will come for the validation, how to do the form validation and how we can use it in the real-time form validation, the things. Let's see what I will do. I will create a one form here only. Okay, I will create a one form here along with the three parameters like name, email ID, phone number. Let's see, for that, for writing the label you have to use, for writing the name label input you have to use. Let's say I will take it as a name label, and I will make it as a br. Br stands for break. I mentioned name. Name means user has to enter the name in the below text box. How to draw the text box? We have to use input field for that. That is purpose input type equals to text. And for this I will take a reference as a id. Id equal to name, and I will write the br. Now you can say I will make it as a refresh. You will get an idea. You can say name it scale along with one text box. Here user will give the input from the browser. Let's see now what I will do. If you want either completely new line, here you can take one more in br on the top. 2 times keep it br. Br means it will break it. Now see, this will become separately. You can see here name. Similarly, now email, phone number, I will take it. You can say just I have made copy. Second field I told it is a email. I will take it as an email. ID also I will give email. And third field I will use that as a contact number. Contact number. Fourth thing I will take it as a message. I will take ID message. Means totally 4 parameters I took for the validations: name, email, contact number, and message. Means I have developed the one form right now. This form only we use for next input purpose and for designing the form. Let's see, I will take last input type equal to button, because after user has to be click on this. And I will specify here for the output value submit. Now see, form is ready. Name, email, contact number, and message. If you want for message purpose big text box, then you can take a text area, because the message will be the big. Sometimes it depends on the matters what you want to fill the information there. That is the reason my recommendation you can do with the help of text area. Let's see, I will tell you how to do the text area. Can use here text area slash text area. Here I will use id equal to message, and I will define in terms of rows and columns. So rows I will take 10, columns I will take 14. Means this shape will be draw the in terms of rows and columns. You can see this is call it as an a rows, this is call it as an a horizontally columns. Now we designed the form with the help of HTML and CS. Just HTML I used, not a CSS. Just I did the form with the help of HTML. But now validation I want to do, that is with the help of JavaScript I need to do. Let's see how to do that. I will show you. I have to make a one function, user defined function. I have to make it. From there I have to use it. Let's see, I will add it here as in one function here. On click, when user is click on this function with this button, it has to go to the function called validation. Validation is a user defined function. I'm going to do it now. This validation function, I will write it down. Okay, I am writing script tag to write the JavaScript code. Here what I will do, I will write a one function. Function name I will give validation, and open flower bracket, close bracket. Okay, if you want to define any JavaScript function, user defined function in the JavaScript, first you have to define the word function, then function name. And open flower bracket indicates the function started here, and closing flower bracket indicates ends here. Means based on your return code, this function will be works. First thing what need to be done, I have to pass each variable value inside the function. First step I have to do, that is the things. Each variable I have to insert in the each value I have to capture and I have to pass inside the function. Let's see, first one I will tell you how to do it. First variable I will take name. Okay, in the name I will capture the name value through a id method. How to do it? You have to use document dot get element by id, because through the help of id name only I have to capture here name dot value. Dot value means it accepts the value. From where the value is coming? Value is coming from text box 1. Similarly, email, contact number, message I am capturing. Let's see what I will do. Same variable I am copying. I will copy paste 3 times. Now I will rename it according to my requirement. I will change it. Let's say I will come down. Okay, second one email. I am taking variable name also similar. It's ID I took email, that's why I'm writing email. Third one contact number. What was the ID? You can say ID is contact number. I'm going to take same variable name and ID also. It is easy to remember and easy to do the validation for you also. Last one is a message. Now all value I have passed it. Means name it coming, email and contact number, message. First I have to check name field. How to do the validation? First I have to check name field. Name field is coming empty or with the value. How to do it? For that you have to use the conditional statement. Conditional statement means it will check the condition. Let's say I will use the if condition. If name equals to empty, you see here I am using the double equal sign. If you want to do any time the comparison between the value, you have to use double equal. For declaring the value, you have to use the single equal. Let's say I will make open flower bracket and closing flower bracket. Okay, here I am telling if name input is coming empty, I will show a end user one message alert, please enter name. Let's see, I am clicking on submit. You see, please enter name, it's coming because I have not entered any value. If I entered any value here, it should not come. You see, it's not coming now. But whenever it is coming empty, if it is coming please enter name, if I click, it should focus their only respected field. For that purpose, you have to integrate focus function. Again, I will do the same only. Through a id reference, I will focus document dot get element by id. Document means whole document it will select. In that it will look which is the id name. Id is the unique, that is the purpose we use here, targeted via id. Let's see, focus is the function. Now you can see if I click on submit, it say enter name. If I click ok, sorry, it's still not focusing. I will look what was the issue. Document dot get element by id name dot focus. Focus spelling is wrong. Focus. Now you can see it's focusing here. Similarly, first field I checked. Similarly, second, third, fourth, I have to look. And at the end, it has to pass the output. Okay, for output purpose, what I will do, if means what happens in the, I will explain about the if condition. If means it will check only one condition. That is also it is checking right now the value is there or not. If it is not there, then it will show the pop-up message. If there, nothing will show. Okay, I will do the else case. If the value is present, I will print that value in the down. How to do? You can see that is I am going to do it here. If condition, it will check only one. Let's say this is the if one condition. If value is empty, then only it will show. If value is not empty, I will in the else case I will pass and I will print the value. For printing value purpose, what you have to do? You have to use the inner HTML method. What inner HTML method does? It will replace the text and it will print the value. Let's see what I will do. Below itself, I will take a one paragraph and I will take a one ID name value. What this will do? It will, if any input is coming, that value I will print it here in the name value through ID. Let's see the same thing I am going to do here. Document dot write get element by ID name value. I will use here inner HTML method. Inner HTML. What it does, it will replace the value with this, whatever the value we will pass. Which value we will pass? Here, this value I will pass. Let's see, I will make it as a refresh. You can see without submitting I am doing, it's coming here. I will write here the name. You see, if value is exist, if I submit, value is coming in the output because I am passing that is in the else case. Else case, what happens if it's not empty, it will produce the output. Means if we'll check only one condition, if else it will check both yes or no conditions. Either yes will do, no. If more than two cases are there, what need to done? In these cases, you have to use else if ladder method. In that case, you have to use else if ladder. What else if ladder function it does? It will check multiple cases, but it will check one by one and it will be based on the condition. If anywhere false is there, it will be printed. Let's see. I will show you how to do the else if. Now, if over, else if over. Else if means second case I have to add here in the next. What is the next second case? Email. You can see I am writing the same code now. I will copy, I will write else If else if means it is second case. First case is here, second case is second. In the else if, I will check the email. If email is coming empty, what it has to do, it will say please enter email ID, and where it has to focus, it has to focus on here only. I will add an email. Similarly, one more else if I am taking, I am checking the contact number, because third one is the contact number. You can see here contact number. Here I will say please enter contact number. I will add the ID name is contact number. Similar, last one more is message. Means all the field I made a mandatory. Now it should not go with the empty. Sorry, it is a message. Please enter message. Let's say each field I will show you it is a mandatory or not now. You can see I'm clicking on submit. Yes, it's coming. Okay, here I am writing input. I'm clicking on submit now. Second one, you see email ID also become now mandatory. You can see when I enter, it will take as an email ID. When I click on submit, you can see contact number. It is coming as a contact number also mandatory. When I click on submit, please enter the message. You see message also is accepted. When I click on submit, all fields, if it is pending, then only the name is printing here. Only one I have passed, that's why the printing. And how to pass remaining 3 input also, I am going to show you right now. Let's see. Here I will add it. Name over, second one email over, email val, third contact number val, I will write it. Means I'm taking the, for each output one on ID. I will add a message val, because it has to take reference and it has to print in the JavaScript. We need a ID. Because of that is the reason everything I am taking one on ID. Let's see, email, contact number, and message val. Already name we have passed via name val ID here. Similarly, I have to do email, contact, and message. Let's see, I am doing the same thing now. I will add email val. Okay, here what has to come? Email has to come. Similarly, contact val, what has to come here? Contact number has to come. That is contact number val. What has value has to go here? It is already we are capturing in the top for the variables. You can see here we are capturing here the value. For contact number, we are taking contact number. Now last one is pending, that is the message. Message. Let's see. I will come here and I will show you the output. I will click on submit. You see all output it's producing and it's printing here. These all are the output it's producing and printing here. Means what I did in the validation, I am checking each field, it's a empty or not. If it is a empty, then it has to say a message to end user, please enter the specific value. Until entering all the fields, it will not submit. What is the advantage of doing the validation? Means user will give one is proper input and data will never miss if you use the proper validation, because if form has to submit means user has to fill all those mandatory fields. Means you will get a one thing is full data you will get and accurate data you will get. There is a no chances of missing the data. If you not made it as in a validation, what happens, it will be there is a chances of people will not fill the data, improper data it comes, it may be chances of misleading the information. That is the reason we have to make it properly the validation and we have to use it. Let's see how it is happening. I will explain you once again the logic. I told you in the beginning only we use the JavaScript for write the logic inside the HTML page. Let's see, this is what I have written the logic for writing the validation purpose. You can see line number 42 till 74. I have written the logic. Total it is how many lines of code? It is 34 lines of code. Totally 34 lines logic code I have written here for the form validation. Because the logic is not available in the JavaScript and in the CSS, sorry, in the HTML and CSS. The logic is available only in the JavaScript. That is the reason I took it and I have implemented it here. Let's see how it works. Once again, I'm explaining the workflow. Let's see. When I click on the submit, it's asking the please enter a name. Okay, it's popping here. The same thing when the user is clicking on the submit button, it's going to the validation function. Validation function I have written here. In the first four, I have captured the input value from there. How it is checking it is a empty or not based on the variable. You see here I am checking with if condition. If name is equal to empty is coming. Empty means no input there. Then it shows the message please enter the name. After clicking user please enter the name, you can see immediately it is focusing here. That focus function also I have written here immediately. Okay, if name value is there, then email not there, what happens? It will check email field here. Means it will come step by step each field. Once whatever the fields, four fields I made a mandatory. Four fields are mandatory. If you entered all four field value, then only it will go for a else. In the else case, it will produce the output. I used here else if ladder function. What else if ladder it will do? It will check the condition step by step and it produces the output. Okay, let's see. I will give email ID as a gap. You see, I will not enter email ID. I will give other fill data I will fill and I will submit. You see, it's working or not. It's not working because I made email also a mandatory field. Until you give email, your form will never submit. When enter the email, then we have to do the submit. But again, if you want to do individual validation for email, name, contact number, again you have to do. That is the next level of validation it comes. Okay. Let's see. I will look if you have anybody any questions. I will answer it. Okay, I told you how to take the input from the users using the ID method. Focus function, I did it, corrected. Okay, contact number validation you can use. There you have to use the ASCII table reference and you have to do. Either you can use ASCII or regular expression. Out of that it will becomes. Okay, for avoiding cross scripting attack, you have to be properly written the code. The code and logic we have to write it properly. If the logic is somewhere the hackable, that is the reason there is a chances of hacking. Okay, I have run the script code in between the script tag that is I shown in the logic. Okay, we'll get recorded video after 3 days of the sessions, not now. If you are making a multiple boxes, then you have to use the array to pass the values. If it is encrypting, then you can print some values and you can check out if any section is interrupting or if it's not working. Okay, you can mention character limit by using the length function. There is a length function in the JavaScript. Using that one, you can able to limit that one. Okay, if you want to use the exactly 10 number of sizes, then the same thing, you have to check the length of the text box. It is a 10, then only you have to allow for submit, else not. How to add this in the term? I told you in the using the script tag, you have to use it. No, you can't use paragraph inside the head tag. Okay, if user is enter invalid email, okay, pop up, what you have to do for that, you have to use the uh, ternary operator for that purpose if you want to show immediately the message by using the ternary operation, or you can use if else also. Okay, recorded session I told you will get after 3 days. Okay, prompt and confirm, what is the difference? In the confirm you will get okay and cancel button along with the message. In the prompt, all will becomes along with extra one input box. Again, you can use that input box as a input. I'm not aware about the Django. I can't able to answer that one. No, you have to check only in the one page at a time, or you have to use the, if you want to check in the from different pages, you have to write a common script for that. Okay. If you have questions, you can add it. Also, I will give the quiz for you today's session.